I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Justice for all. Can I have everyone do a roll call, please? I have Supervisor Alberman and Supervisor Retzloff are excused. Oh, and Supervisor Blau. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to citizen comments. Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 5 minutes to speak.
Good evening, County Board. My name is Michael Bell, 3317 13th Place, Wisconsin. Mike Goebel over in District 4 is my county supervisor. I'd like to ask this council if anybody remembers the name of Harry Marco Polo. Probably not, but Harry Marco Polo reported to the Security Exchange Commission for 9 years that Bernie Madoff was running a Ponzi scheme, and they refused to listen. Well, I've been calling out that there's a problem within a law enforcement agency within this community for the last 13 years, and I've asked the City of Kenosha, its Police and Fire Commission, Wisconsin DOJ, and the U.S. Attorney for a proper investigation regarding the death of my son on November 9th, 2004, and that request fell on deaf ears. I'd like to make sure that you know that as a retired United States Air Force officer, that I support law enforcement. I am a paying member of the Police Executive Research Forum. In October of last year, I actually attended the International Chiefs of Police Conference in San Diego. I worked directly with the president of the Police Foundation, James Bowerman, and directly with the Wisconsin Professional Police Association, James Palmer. I strongly believe that there are excellent officers within the Kenosha Police Department. I'm sure you know that a referee's report from Judge Flynn was published recently. You might not know that in June of 2015, I had also filed a complaint, but the Office of Lawyer Regulations subordinated my complaint to that of Attorney Terry Rose. And in that referee's report, there was a scathing rebuttal or assessment of the Kenosha Police Department. The referee's report from Judge Flynn, the medical examiner's report from my own case from E. Douglas Kelly, the findings of Attorney Patrick Dunphy, and the investigative reports of investigators Ira Robin and retired Kenosha Police Detective Russell Beckman support the conclusion that the KPD, its officers, and their former chiefs engaged in an intentional cover-up of evidence of police misconduct in a homicide and a tasing. I want you to know that I'm standing in front of you today, and it's not about money. I've already filed a civil lawsuit. We've already settled with our family. I used my entire portion of that settlement, plus 3 times more, to help get Act 348 passed in 2014. And that act said that in the state of Wisconsin, no law enforcement agency that's involved in a fatal police shooting can investigate itself. I gave everybody a photo book. You can see it right here. I asked you to read it. I put 9 full-page color pictures in here. There's only 600 words, actually a page and a half, and I think it will lay out to you exactly what I am standing in front of you for. I believe there was perjury and officer misconduct with the Kenosha Police Department, and I will be asking this body to issue a resolution or a letter from the county exec or some instrument to help me open the investigation into my son's death. I ask you to look at the facts. They do not add up. To the best of my knowledge, the county board has 3 major powers, and the one I'm interested is your ability to be quasi-judicial. In that role, you are the liaison between the public and the many branches of government. And this board has the constitutional authority to promote the best interests of this county. 15 people in this room there are 15 districts within the city of Kenosha that may be exposed to police misconduct, and it has to stop. I lost a son, and you will see his blood on the hood of that car. and I'm entitled to know the truth about what happened to them. And I'm asking this body to assist me in finding out the truth. And I assure you that if a trusted agency conducts an independent investigation, that our family will live with the results no matter what they might be. I ask that I can be put on your next agenda and that this board use whatever instrument required, be it a resolution to assign letter of support from the county executive to urge Sheriff David Beth to order an investigation, an independent investigation into the fatal police shooting of my son. And once again, once that true investigation is completed by trusted professionals, I am willing to accept the results of whatever they may be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Any other citizen comments? Citizen comments? Any other citizen comments? I'm going to go ahead and close citizen comments and we can move on. We do have one of our youth in governance, Alexandria Dawson, is here tonight with us. Welcome. And I'd also like to mention that Supervisor Hallman has been appointed as a member of the Arts and Culture Commission for NACO, which is the National Association of Counties. So congratulations. That's all I have. Do I have any supervisor reports? Supervisor Bostrom, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The last time we got together, actually not the last time, the time before that, we had a discussion as a meeting of the whole regarding tax delinquent properties and some of the procedures surrounding that. Since that time, I've been in contact with a couple of different organizations, one a title company local in town that is prepared to give a presentation to the board or finance committee, whichever this body deems more appropriate, mainly a tutorial on everything that there is regarding title searches, and it's basically a Title 101. But more importantly, I've received some information from a group out of the East Coast that provides a number of services for municipalities. Some of their largest customers are the city of New York and the Los Angeles County Public School System, where they provide tax deeded services. They even provide tax payment services. They provide property investigative services, just a whole wide array of services for municipalities such as ourselves. I haven't been able to go through all the information that they've provided me, but I am going to spend the next couple of weeks gathering more information. Anybody that would like to receive this information, I'd be happy to pass it along to you, and hope the next time we get together we'll have a more detailed report to provide to this body. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Bostrom. Supervisor Gable, you have the floor.
Thank you. Just a reminder that the Shalom Center will be opening their new building on Thursday at 5:15. You'll be able to tour it at 5:30 if you're interested. It's on 39th Avenue.
Thank you, Supervisor Gable. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to give a joint services report. Anybody interested in coming to our budget meeting, it'll be held a week from tomorrow at 4 o'clock over in the Joint Services Conference Room. Also, I wanted to give a report on one thing that we're really working on and struggling with at this point, and I want everybody to be aware of it, and that's our number of dispatchers. We're losing a lot of dispatchers for money comparables to other areas and other jobs, Uline, et cetera. I mean, it's a very stressful job to be a dispatcher, and in the 10 years that I've been on the county board and chairing joint services, we've never been this low. And so we are working on all different avenues to try to remedy that. But we even early on in my career, I formed a subcommittee and had dispatchers, management, city, county people on there to try to figure out how we could shorten the span of training. And it's like hiring deputies. It's a tough thing. So I just wanted to let everybody know that that's our current struggle. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Also, like I said, our budget meeting is a week from tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens. Supervisor Dodge, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Attended the Human Services Financial Status Update before this meeting, and one item in there that I found was that there is going to be no grant to support the Veterans Court, Kenosha County. At this time, I would like, as a combat veteran, and on behalf of all the veterans of the county, I would like to thank the administration for seeing to it that the Veterans Court will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Dodge. Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
All right, thank you. Thursday's agenda next week, I have placed on the agenda the Treasurer's report regarding the tax delinquent properties. I think what we're most interested in knowing is what her solution is to the problem. This is their office solution. So we want to hear from them how they intend to solve it, and perhaps we would consider setting some benchmarks in the reduction of that tax delinquency owed to Kenosha County. So I certainly appreciate what Supervisor Bostrom has to say tonight, but I view that more as a last resort. I'm most concerned about what the Treasurer intends to do, and do it quickly and with some benchmarks perhaps being set by the Finance Committee if that's what they so desire. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to respond to those comments. I think Supervisor Bostrom's comments are pertinent in our discussion and are looking at this on Thursday. So hopefully he or that title company can be there and talk to us about this, because I think moving forward, that is one of the solutions with the background checks, et cetera, that we had talked about. So I do think that's part of the solution. I'd like to hear about that. Also, I want to make sure that, IT is asked to come as well, because they were part of this whole thing too. So I hope that we're not going to be looking at benchmarks for the Treasurer's office. I want to analyze the whole situation as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens, and I hope that everyone had a chance to read Marty's comments from the email that was sent out. Supervisor Ron Frederick, you have the floor.
Yes, Madam Chair. On this tax deed problem we have, I was surprised the other day, August 30th, there was a Treasurer's 14 properties in the 30th newspaper. Some of them went back to 2000, most of them went back to 2012. But what I was most surprised about is because we had the indication from the Treasurer that these were residential properties. And one of those properties that's listed is Atlas Gym, 3415 80th Street, who has delinquent taxes going back to 2012, has not made one payment in those 5 years, and they owe us, I guess, if you want to compound it, probably the basic tax was about $75,000, so I imagine that's about double now. Not one payment made on that property in 5 years, back to 2012, not 2008 like the Treasurer told us, 2012. So the problem is huge. This is 34 properties that were in the paper. I looked up most of them. Some of them are starting to make payments now, I guess, because they're now being tax deeded. So that's what we're up against. It's not just residential, it's commercial properties. So the Treasurer better have an answer, because if she doesn't, then Supervisor Bostrom, we're going to have to do something besides have the Treasurer, because that office is not going to be able to handle the volume that's there right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Frederick. Seeing no other lights, we'll move on.
County Executive Appointments, Robert Mary to serve on the Kenosha County Land Information Council.
Refer to PDEC.
Lieutenant Bill Beth to serve on the Kenosha County Traffic Safety Commission.
Refer to Public Works.
Joseph Cardinelli to serve on the Racing Kenosha Community Action Agency Board.
Refer to Human Services.
New business ordinance, first reading to required, 13, from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding proposed amendments to Chapter 14, Kenosha County Subdivision Control Ordinance. Decker, yes. Poole, yes. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, Poole, no. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, yes.
I can handle it.
Approval of the August 15th, 2017 Committee of the Whole and regular County Board meeting minutes by Supervisor Ron Frederick.
Supervisor Ron Frederick, you have the floor.
I'm sorry, what, was- I did, I'm,
You're approving the minutes.
are we at the minutes already?
Yes, we are.
Oh, God, did we go, okay, I move the minutes of August 15th, the Committee of the Whole and the regular meeting be approved.
I have a first by Supervisor Ron Frederick and a second by Supervisor Kubicki. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn? I have a first by Supervisor Kubicki and a second by Supervisor Gable to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.